Long ago, 5 men set out from their own paths to achieve their own destinies. Now they are brothers, united under one cause. Alone they are strong, together they are unbreakable. They are bonded by metal.
Hey, welcome back to Bonded by Metal, and this is Toxic Nick, yours truly, joined by Pope Metallicus and the Disciple of Rock. How you doing, Disciple?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to get into this one because I've got some opinions on it, but yeah, really excited to get into this one.
Okay, cool. And Pope Metallicus, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be talking about this one. I have some opinions on this one that you guys may or may not share, and may raise some eyebrows. But this is my first real introduction to the band, so we'll see how that plays out.
Well, good. I'm glad you mentioned it because I am still very new to this band. So I saw them a few months ago at Hell's Heroes 2026. They were the opening band on Saturday afternoon, I think it was. No, actually, it was Friday afternoon. Whatever. Friday or Saturday afternoon, they're the first band. I took a real liking to them, which is cool because I like a lot of these gothic type of bands. I've been getting into a lot of them in the last decade. Cloak back in 2016, Night a few years back, NITE. And now all of a sudden I see Spell, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Another one of these bands, they got that gothic element to it. Well, let's see what's up. And I didn't get any merch, though I wanted to, because, sometimes you lose track of things at Fest. But I remembered them. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking to see if they got an album coming out. So I'm like, oh, they do, called Wretched Heart. And I remember they played Lilac at Hell's Heroes. So I remember that. It was coming back to memory. So I made sure, okay, I'm going to pre-order the album, order it, got it. And I've listened to it 3 times in the last 24 hours. And at first I thought it was pretty good. And now it's actually starting to take more of a liking as I was going on. So I guess that'll be my way of leading off first. I actually really enjoy this album. I could definitely see where a lot of the 70s rock and some of the ghost elements of this album kick in, especially the Papa Emeritus type of vocals. They are most definitely there. There's definitely a lot of hooks, and I was noticing the hooks as I was going through more listens. I liked how you had songs like Iron Teeth that brought the bass pounding after a pulse pounder of an intro. If Velma says jankies when she sees us and hears the sounds of ghosts, she yells holy shit-a-roni when she hears the sounds of Spell. So I was, really just getting enamored as it was going on. Exquisite Corpse had this dazzling lead track from the guitarist to a synth, and I was like, bro, this is kind of cool. And then you even had their vocalist, who was also in Striker, I think, way before this, and he shows a bit of a wider range and on Savage Skirt, and it reminded me of something that would have not been on place on like an In Solitude album, or even let alone The Devil's Blood. And then of course Lilac, man, very infectious song. Now I wouldn't say this is like a absolutely amazing album. There's some okay songs on here, but I feel like, man, when the album soars, it really soars. So I guess if I had to do like a score on it, I probably would go with like an 8 out of 10, an 8. So where are you at, Pope Metallicus?
You know what? I'm going to let Disciple go before I give mine, because I have a lot of semi-constructive criticism on this one.
Well, you should just go now. Why not?
All right. Well, in that case, for me, I love the musicianship. They are fantastic. The musicians are tight. They're playing some really complex stuff, and I love it to death. Mm-hmm. A lot of the synth stuff really hit well. Well produced. Really great sound to it. There's one fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's their singer.
He's terrible. Really? See, I disagree on that, but go on.
I hate his voice.
You what?
He sounds whiny. He sounds like an emo singer.
Ooh, I don't
in a lot of tracks, and it's just, it doesn't work for me. Like, I wanted to like it, especially because a lot of their intros and a lot of that just gets me into it. Like, yes, this is great. And then I hear that whiny, that high vocal. It's like, you're trying way too hard to be Tobias, and you don't have the voice for it.
See, I'd make the argument that he does, but okay, you feel how you feel.
It's like, that's just what I'm hearing. Like, maybe on like repeated listens, like I'll maybe finally get it. But like you said, you saw them live first, so that kind of gives you a more of a sound to them, how they actually sound, than what I'm seeing on their album. So maybe that kind of colors your perception rather than what I'm seeing.
True.
And
true.
maybe live I'll love them. I've run into bands like that before, where on the albums I wasn't a fan, and then I saw them live, and I absolutely became one. But yeah, for me, this is like a 6.7.
I'm actually surprised you gave that high of a score.
I
It
mean,
actually sounds like you're going to give like a 5 or a
That's-
4. But do you
Like
actually
that
do you
goes to
actually
show you
believe
how
it?
good
Do you actually believe that? If you do, you do.
Like that goes to show you how good the musicianship. Everything else on this album is firing on all cylinders. It's just
Okay.
that one thing that drags it down for me.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, hey, I don't agree, but I appreciate your honesty. Disciple, why don't you get into it?
Well, I'm going to be a lot nicer than Pope, which I'm kind of surprised given how he can be hit or miss. He actually he actually enjoyed aspects of it. No offense, big guy, but okay, so for me, it's kind of weird for me because I love this gothic 70s ghost sound because it's probably good. It should be a channel meme at this point of to the degree of which I love the band Ghost.
It's like me talking about Motorhead. If it's been more than 5 minutes, you missed it.
Which I love. Now I do I do get the aspect of what Pope is saying. He is maybe trying to beat Tobias a little too much. However, I don't think that's a bad thing. Okay, because Tobias Tobias is an amazing singer, but what makes him also an amazing singer is that his style is not that hard to reproduce, right? Where ghost songs are very easy to sing along with, right? And for you to sing and you don't feel like you're the embarrassing drunk guy at karaoke, right?
Unless you actually are the embarrassing drunk guy at karaoke, you know who you are.
Yeah. But with that being said, the vocals didn't bother me. There was a couple instances where I didn't like it, like maybe Iron Teeth, or was it the song Wretched Heart? I'm confused on that, but he kind of sounded like Weird Al Yankovic a little bit to me. If
I don't know. I think you listened to a different song, but go on.
In a way, not exactly, but with that being said, I thought the musicianship was terrific. Like Pope said, the songs, the lyrical like structure, the melodic structure, and like the way the band played was off the charts. And even some of the other stuff, I was listening to some of the earlier albums just to kind of get the rundown of them. And no, they're a solid band. I think, for me, like we were talking about this in some like back, in our own like chats where I do like bands like Green Lung better, but I really like this band and I'm really excited to see what they can develop into. I know they've been doing it for a while, but yeah, if I'm giving it a score, I'll give it a 7. It's not the best thing I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll put it to great, but I'll put it to really good.
Okay. So, okay, pretty good, and great. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess when you average it out, we come out to pretty good.
Yeah, like about like a 7.5, really.
Yeah, it seems like when you average us together, we're around like a 7.5. Yeah, I would go really just finish straight. If I had to give my only criticism, I would say, I feel like the instrumental right before the closing track it's not bad. It was just filler that didn't really help the songs, but didn't really hurt it. It was just kind of there for me.
Yeah, I heard what you're saying on that one. It was just kind of in between, like they kind of didn't know what they wanted to do in that space, so they just put that there.
To be fair, I feel like they did. I feel like they did know what they wanted to do. I think they were trying to have like a calm before a storm moment because a lot of bands do that. And I think some bands do that. I think it works. I think maybe it was just a bit of a miss this time around. That's all. I think it was just a simple miss. Once again, it's not something I'm like, oh man, this is awful. When I'm listening to the album in its entirety, because I like to listen to albums, I'm gonna let it play. It's not something I'm just gonna skip and like say, okay, this song doesn't exist. If you're one of those, then I have a real problem. It's just something I guess you could say is more of like a constructive criticism or a nitpick. But man, once again, and you got some songs like "Take My Life" for sure, pretty good. But songs like for me, like "Lilac" and "Ironheart," oh man, I love how hooky it is. This album was getting more and more infectious for me, and I love how there's all these memorable choruses. They're almost kind of poppy in the sense of how catchy they are and how much they want to stick in your head, which I love because for me, like these types of bands are done the best when you have something that sticks with you, a memorable riff or a memorable like lyrical pattern. You want to have something there that's going to give people something to come back to. And that's why I'm looking forward to my fourth listen even more, because I can tell this feels like it's a grower and not just a shower.
Yeah, I feel that way too. Because like the first 2 or 3 songs, like Dark Inertia and Lilac, are just, they are so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can start an album good and you can keep that, which they do, like there's nothing that's outright terrible on this album,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
There's no skip button songs. There's just songs like, yeah, that's just not, it's kind of but whatever. I'm not gonna skip it. The one thing I'm gonna say though, I want to circle back to the point about the song Duress, which is kind of like that, just kind of like
In Duress, yes.
Yeah.
That's where I see a lot of the Ghost copying, because Ghost is notorious for having one, if not multiple, just of those like just musical pieces that are like 2 minutes long, right, or a minute long, right?
It's not new though. To combat your point, I mean, even I could just use recent albums to my argument.
Yeah.
The newest albums from Immolation and At the Gates, which are obviously two very different bands, not just from Spell, but Immolation and At the Gates are very different from each other. And funny enough, all three bands' second to last song, who have all come out in the last month, all have a instrumental track before the last song. It's really interesting how that coincidence happened, even though they're all sonically different from each other. It's nothing new, and even if I take that easy, convenient, recent argument, it's been done in history. It's not exclusive to just bands like Ghost. I get the idea. I understand album formatting. It's clear that they were making an album. They weren't just making a collection of songs and just throwing them in a mix of Garrett. There was a flow to this. And I appreciate that they're trying to make a flow, peaks and valleys, ups and downs. I don't think it's definitely if we're going to use the Ghost, it's just because of a recency of a point of reference when I have zillions of albums to point that reference to.
Oh yeah, but if you're gonna do something like In Duress, you've gotta make it good though. You've gotta have that follow.
It could have been better. I agree.
You gotta have your Judas Priest says Battle Hymn, followed up by One Shot at Glory, right? And these are some older references, but
in
the Hall of the Mountain King has Prelude to Madness, right? How well do those go? Or excuse me, Prelude to Madness has the Hall of the Mountain King, right?
Yeah.
You just can't have a song that's just, oh, okay, that's good. You have to have something that's like, oh my gosh, what did I just listen to?
I wish it popped a little more. I wish it popped, I wish it definitely had more oomph to it. And it's not like it can't be done. There's tons of great Calm Before the Storm type of songs. And just to once again rely on convenient examples of recency, in the new Immolation album, once again, radically different band, but I still feel like the point is relevant. Their instrumental track before the last song it's really great. It's like 3.5 minutes. So it's not just like a 1-2 minute interlude. It's a full-on instrumental song. It's a full-on song. And then you get the final track. And that last track is like an absolute bruiser. And coincidentally enough, the last track on that Immolation album is the title track, which Spell, the last track, is the title track as well. So, and they're both 10 songs. So it's kind of weird how two very different bands.
We're this close to Charlie Day with a fucking pin board at this point.
So I do have a question though for you on this though.
Yes.
No, I think it was a good decision to lead off with what's the song?
Dark Inertia.
Dark Inertia. That was it's a good song to open. But I think maybe you would have looked at it differently if In Duress and Wretched Heart opened, then you go into Dark Inertia and Lilac.
See, I don't know if I think that I like Dark Inertia where that, well. But hey, that's a good thing. When that's our nitpick of an argument, that's a good thing, because that's when you want. Those are the type of critiques you like to have, like, oh yeah, I could have done this, did that. It's nothing polarizing. It's just saying little things you would tweak around. To me, those are good complaints to have, because it's like I can only live in a dream world where that's the worst of my problems type of deal.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I do appreciate where you're coming from. That just Pope, you look at you want to say something.
And to illustrate like kind of like where I want like my thing of like a different singer would have done this album a great service.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a thought experiment, picture in your mind this song, this album entirely every note for note, but with the singer from Eclipse doing it.
I like Eclipse, but I can't imagine Eclipse on it. But maybe
He's
if I heard it,
he's
I'd
more
change my
aggressive.
mind.
He's more emotive. He's a lot more energetic. And to me, he's the superior one to do something like this.
I know where you're coming from, Pope, but I'm gonna put this out there for you. This genre is a very goth-heavy genre, and I get that it's an old style the way he's singing, but his voice to me does fit with what he's trying to do.
It's not old. It's mid-2000s emo.
I know, but it fits.
No,
it works.
This is way before emo. This is not even emo. That's why I'm saying I wonder if you're even listening. There's a line from White Man Can't Jump where Woody Harrelson says to Wesley Snipes, "No, you hear me, but you ain't listening." I think you heard the album, but I don't know if you were listening.
Look, he doesn't have the best vocals.
I like his singing. I think it's great. I really like Cam's voice.
Yeah, I listen. I personally, they don't bother me. They're good. They're good, and they work for what it's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could call it Scooby-Doo music, but there's nothing wrong with Scooby-Doo music.
Oh, I love Scooby-Doo music, so
As
for
I'm
me,
saying,
it's only a compliment.
People throw that insult to Ghost. Oh, it's Scooby-Doo music. I'm like, so?
So, right?
But,
so?
I will say, if we're, because I know we want to start closing this up, but
yeah.
To the people out there, if you like Spell and you're going to listening to this because of us, why don't you also give out bands like Green Lung or even bands like Haunt a try, because they're kind of in this vein. Haunt's a little more on the heavier, it's definitely on the heavier power metal side, but they do have this kind of softer element to that Green Lung or Spell has. So just a couple of recommendations out there that I thought you may like if you like this. So check that all out.
To piggyback off of that, Night is one. I mean, if you're watching this, you probably know who they are. In case you don't, NITE, do yourself a favor. They have the gothic sound. Now, their gothic sound is a little bit more of a black metal slant to their gothic sound. And then, of course, Cloak. My goodness, they really blend all of that together. Holy crud. And Cloak's got an album coming out on Metal Blade. So anyways, yeah, those are our thoughts on the new album from Spell titled Wretched Heart, a 5th album out today. And what are your thoughts? Do you disagree with all of us? Do you think it's polarizing? Or do you agree with one of us? Like, hey, that Nick guy is right. Oh, no, that Pope guy is right. Why don't you sign off your thoughts in the comments on what your thoughts on this album is? Thank you all for watching this video. And you lay down your souls to the gods. Rock and roll.
Peace.
Beneath the skin, we are already one. Was it not your sin trapped the unicorn? Even now, the evil seed of what you've done germinates within you.